by just taking a few, sit up tall and take a few breaths in and out, just nice natural breathing. In and out through the nose, unless I always say, unless you're super stuffy. Breathe in and breathe out, just however you breathe. Sometimes I have students say to me, but I'm not doing the inhale when you do the inhale or the exhale. Don't worry about it. Do the best you can, and eventually it'll match up. And that's not going to mess up your practice. You're still going to have your practice. Over time, you'll start to match it up. So now, when you take your inhale, take your hands to your belly. And then exhale out. So when we inhale, belly's expanding, meaning you're feeling it go outward. Take your hands to your rib cage. Breathe in. And your rib cage expands. Now, the third one, a lot of times is called a three-part breath. With a three-part breath, we mean belly, middle torso, upper. This is the one where you may not feel it right away, because when you're expanding your belly and your middle rib cage, your breath just might not be long enough yet that you're feeling this lift. We don't want to feel the chest lifting first on the inhale. Breathe in, belly expands first, then middle, maybe upper chest or upper towards your heart area. We say heart region in yoga. And then let it go. Now, pretend it's somebody's birthday today. Maybe it's your birthday. I should have asked if it was anybody's birthday, but we're going to blow out the candles on a cake. And there's a lot of candles. So you're going to take an inhale, and then on the exhale, you're going to blow out the candles in what we call beak breath. So you're making a pursed lip breath. It looks like this. And so when you do that, blowing out of the candles, take your hand to your belly. Take the exhale all the way to the end so you get all the candles. Breathe in. And what you should be feeling is the belly going in. If you don't, let me know later and we'll talk about this. So you breath is in, that's it, go at the expansion. But the end, when we do the exhale, start to feel the belly go inward. The interesting thing about this is when the belly goes in, that's activating your core. So that's how this all ties together. The exhale is where you can really activate your core. So we sit tall, take a breath in, exhale out, blow out the candles. The belly goes in. That's how that's how we're going to wake up your core this morning. Let's now start our movement. Take your inhale and lift your arms to your sides. And exhale and float them down like they're wings. Inhale, arms float up, they're buoyant. Exhale, they lower down. Now, when we're doing an inhale and an exhale and it's soft, you may not feel the activation of the core. We have to intentionally activate it, which we're going to do throughout class. And then exhale and lower down. Hands to the knees or the thighs. Let's do our cat pose, which is also activation of core. So if we round our spine as we exhale, chins to chest, and then on our inhale, the belly expands, the belly moves forward, the sitting bones move back, the heart lifts. That's not the activation of the core, though. You can keep a little toning. So let's do a wave forward and back and try to feel the belly pull in on the cat pose. So here we go. Cat, we exhale. Cow, we inhale. Exhale on the cat. Inhale on the cow. Round the spine on that exhale, that's the cat. Inhale, lift up. That's the cow. And let's come back to center. Dip your right ear down towards your right shoulder. You might use your right hand for just a gentle, I hate to use the word pulling because it's more like lengthening. It's very gentle. You almost just touch your head and you feel the lengthening. And then use your hand to help lift the head back up. And let's exhale, do the other side. Exhaling, left ear lowers towards left shoulder. You may use your hand, just gentle. That helps you to feel the lengthening on the right side when the ear goes to the left. And then inhale, head rises back up. Let's turn our head towards the right. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, head back to neutral or center, and exhale, turn your head towards the left. Nice and slow. Really feel the movement in your neck. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, back to center. Let's take our hands to the top of our shoulders and circle the elbows around and about. Get a nice circle going here. It should feel good. Should feel really nice. Just bringing the movement in. You can experiment with smaller circles and then getting bigger and bigger and wider. And then reverse it. Ooh, I love the feeling of this. Could do this for a while. Feels really, really nice. I hope it feels the same way for you. And then let's extend our arms out. Beautiful. Press your palms away. Spread your fingers. Woo. And then pull the backs of your hands towards you and push away. And pull it in and push it away. Good. One more time. And feel that resistance. It's like you feel the resistance and you're not even pushing into anything. Imagine that you're pushing into a wall. But so now you don't want any stress to enter into your head or your neck. The effort is in your arms, but it's also in your, you can feel your shoulder blades come together. And let's let that go. Just let it go. Like a rag doll, shake it out. Shake it out. When in doubt, shake it out. All right, let's inhale and lift the heels up. And exhale and lower them down. And inhale, heels rising. Exhale, heels lowering. Good. Now push your whole foot down into the mat, including the toe pads and the big toe mounds across. Push it down. Breathe in and breathe out. On your inhale, lift your toes and spread them. Lift the toes and spread them. Exhale, lower the toes down. Inhale, they lift up. Exhale, they lower down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Lift the toes, lower them down. Good. Take your hands to the side of the chair. We're going to play with lifting off as we activate our core. So it's going to look like this. You're going to curl in like the cat, push down through your feet, and maybe your hips lift off. But caveat, don't use your shoulders to lift up. We are not putting the strain here. The lift is from your belly. So we could do this, and you do this without your hands. Let me show you what it looks like without your hands. So I'm not using my shoulders. This is without my hands, right? And then lower down. Little bit harder. So let's try this with hands on here first. Resist doing this. You see, oh, I should take this scarf off so you can see. I'm just always cold this time of year. Body hasn't quite gotten used to the cold yet. So when we don't want to do this, I don't know if you can see that, but that's a big stress in the neck and doesn't feel very good. We want to take the effort down here. So this is what it looks like. It looks like cat pose. Curl in, pull belly in as you exhale, and then lower down. My hands are there just for a little bit of support, but that's not where the work is. Let's try it again. Take an inhale, exhale, hands to the sides of the chair. As you exhale, pull your belly in and maybe your hips lift off. And then lower down. Notice where your weight is in your feet as we do this one more time. Notice where it is. So take an inhale. On your exhale, pull the belly in. Even if you don't lift off, notice where the weight is in your feet and lower down. So you don't have to lift off to feel your core engaged. If you're saying, I can't get my hips off the chair, it's okay. That's not going to be the be all end all for engaging your core. Let's lift our right arm towards the sky, and the elbow might be bent to start, and take a side bend now towards your left. A few times, just get the side body nice and warmed up. Yes. And you can let it flow here. You might even have a little bit of rocking motion, rocking towards the left, swaying towards the right. Breathe in and breathe out. This rocking motion is kind of nice because we don't have to be so static in every pose. Sometimes we're static. That's kind of the fun part about the yoga. We could have static poses and we can have more dynamic moving poses. Let's feel our side bend. And you should feel a good, nice side lengthener on the right side of your body. And then lower the arm down. Let's take this right hand to the left thigh and find our first twist of the day. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turning. Neck turns the head. Your left hand can be on the back of the chair, or maybe it's a diag, or maybe it's holding on to the bottom of the seat. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. And let's return to neutral. Do a few cat cows. Round your spine. Chin is towards chest, belly's in. Belly's like a pancake going in towards your spine. Inhale, lift up, shoulder blades roll up and back, sitting bones move back, and you're going to feel the rib cage go a little forward here. Exhale, round, chins to chest, belly's in, core is engaged. Inhale, lift up, heart rising, and let's return to neutral. Nice and tall, taking the left arm out to the side, find your side bend towards the right. Let's sway it a few times. Sway the body as you find your side bend. Ease into it. Ease into it. Open it up. Bring the arm over the ear. Bend the elbow, straighten the elbow, kind of play with it. Maybe you go a little bit, teeny little bit further each time, and you start to feel lengthening on the left side of your body. Breathe in and breathe out. One more. And then let's take our left hand outside our right thigh and find our twist towards the right. Lengthen spine. And then start to turn from your navel here. So we're not torquing the spine. We're turning from the navel up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel your twist. Really feel it. Feel the twist as you breathe in. And you breathe out. And then return to center. And there we go. Let's play with balance. That was also a request. Now, with balance, let's just review. One of the yoga tricks is to find a spot to stare at in front of you about horizon level that's not moving. So staring at a person or an animal is not a great idea unless they're sleeping. So find a spot to stare at that's not moving as you breathe and you practice your balance poses. So we lift tall. We're going to go to spinal balance seated, extending the right leg forward and maybe upward, and then pull it back. Let's do that a few times. Extend the right leg forward, upward, and then pull it back. Now, another thing you can do is use your right hand and push it into your thigh as you lift the leg. So it looks like this. Extend the heel forward, push the thigh into the hand, and the hand into the thigh, and you've got an isometric going. Then for spinal balance, extending your left arm. Find that spot to stare at. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Lower the heel, bring it back in. Other side. So this is a soft, we call it a soft gaze, meaning your eyes aren't piercing at that spot. Your eyes are softly gazing at this spot that's not moving. Extend now the left leg, lift it up, and you can push the heel away. And then drag that heel back in. Inhale, push the heel forward, and leg lifts. Exhale, lower heel down, bring the heel back underneath your knee. Inhale, forward, now push left hand into left thigh and thigh into hand. That's your isometric. And then we've got our spinal balance with the right arm extending out to the side. Breathe in and breathe out, and exhale, release it down. With balance, usually there's some type of asymmetric, which was what this spinal balance was, or things like lifting heels and balancing when we're standing. We're going to do more balancing poses on the earth today, since our class is today is in the chair and then on the mat. So now let's do some alternating of spinal balance. So right leg, left arm, and then switch it up and switch it up. So we're alternating. See how fast or slow you can go. Now, when we're doing it fast like this, you get some momentum going. Maybe it doesn't feel like it's a balance pose. For some people, sitting upright in a chair is a balance pose. Another concept with balance is feeling rooted down through whatever touching down. Like now, our sitting bones are touching down. Breathe in, breathe out. Should we change it up a bit? We'll have the arms lift with the opposite leg. So it looks like this, like that. Breathe in and breathe out. So we're extending the leg forward and the arms upwards. Yes. And maybe you make a fist and then open your fingers up to just add in a lot of little fun to it. Breathe in and breathe out. All right. And let's come back to neutral. Do a cat pose. Pull the belly in. Remind yourself what it's like for belly to come in towards spine. And then inhale and lift up. We're going to play with boat pose in the chair, which is a balance pose and a core building pose. Very much known in yoga is a core building pose called boat pose or Navasana. So I'm going to turn the chair. And if you have two chairs, that would be nice. If you don't, it's okay. I'm going to bring my second chair here just so you can see what I'm talking about. You don't have to have it. And then if you have a block, or a strap, that might be helpful too. And it looks like this. So we're going to rock forward and back, and just feel that your sitting bones, as you rock back, you're towards the back of your sitting bones. As you rock forward, you're going forward on your sitting bones. Those are what are touching the chair seat. Now, boat pose is traditionally done on the mat, but we're doing it in the chair right now. Now, I got this chair a little bit too close to me. So now, as you rock back, lift a leg and alternate. Breathe in and breathe out. Now, where the core comes in is on that exhale if we stay still. So watch this, like that. So the leg is lifting, the belly's pulling in. You can keep your hands on the chair, or you might lift your opposite arm up. So if we go back to alternating, that's essentially what it is, but we stay still for boat pose. So we're going to come back to that and do the opposite leg and arm. We lean back. This is a variation of boat pose. Belly's pulling in. If you go too far back, your spine might start to hurt. Don't do that. So if you start to feel like this doesn't feel supported, back it off. Back it off. So we got opposite arm and leg. Toes could be down or leg could be up. Let's alternate a few times and swing the arms. Swing them forward and back. Go for it. I got a wall here, so not the arm isn't going quite far back. This one next to the wall. And then let's take our hands to the seat of the chair, lean slightly back and come onto your tippy toes. Now pull your belly in because your belly is supporting your spine. And so I'm on my tippy toes. I might lift one leg up. We got balance and core working here. Balance and core working. And then lower it down. So we can rock this forward and back too. So alternate as you rock forward and back. And then we're going to stick it, meaning we're going to hold it for a moment or two. So even up the sides. And then when you're on your right side, hold it. Toes can be down or they can be up. Take a breath in. On your exhale, pull your belly to your spine. Feel your heart lift and lower the leg down. Yeah. Other side. Let's rock forward and back. And then eventually we're going to lift the leg up. It doesn't matter how high it lifts. It's just toes off the earth. Heart lifting, or toes could be slightly touching down too. Belly's pulling in, supporting spine. Notice how the spine is in line, then the head kind of follows. No dropping back of the head. And maybe the leg lifts, maybe it doesn't, and then release it. Now, I'm just going to show you, if you have two chairs, you can use it. This is what a more traditional boat pose would look like. We've got our feet up on the chair, and this would be more traditional, but the other is awesome too. The other is awesome too. So we're lifting one leg and then the other. This is boat pose. We might extend one leg, but don't do it. I always say don't do it. Don't do it. If your back hurts, then it's going too far. That means you're lifting the leg too high or too far. You can keep the knee bent as you do your boats. Breathe in and breathe out. So you can use the second chair or not, like the first way we did it or the second way. All right, moving on to go towards the earth. And let's, on our way down, practice a traditional balance pose, like tree pose. So you can have the chair in front of you or to the side of you for your tree pose. And I know we're going down to the earth, so we're not spending much time. You can skip this pose if you want, but I want to remind us, if you are practicing it, and even if you aren't, because we're going to go down to the earth and we're going to practice final balance on the mat next. So finding a spot to stare at that's not moving, that thread is throughout any pose that we do. when it comes to balancing. We're going to shift our weight right and left and just kind of feel the shifting towards one side and then the other. And your arms can be down or up, it doesn't matter. We're just feeling the shift in our weight, because that's part of walking, that's part of balancing. And then place your weight into the right leg, soften the knee so it's not locked back. And then your left foot can come into the ankle or the inner shin or maybe on a block. This is where we practice our balance. We find a spot that's not moving. You could take your hands like this Yana Mudra. It can very much help balance. They could be down, or you could have your hands in prayer, or maybe you lift your arms up overhead. Find your balance pose. Now, bringing your palms together is also very helpful. This is helping the right and left hemispheres of your brain. Find that balance pose. We lift up and out of the waist. Now take an inhale. On your exhale, tone your belly. Tone your belly. Notice the weight in your right foot. We don't want it towards the back heel, and we don't want it too far forward. Just about centered. Feel the big toe mound push down. If you start to come out of the pose, so be it. You take a break. Maybe you go in again, or you do the other side. So the other side, let's shift the weight right and left, and we'll find our standing pose on the left foot. When you're ready, press that left foot down, bring your right toes to the ankle. The toes can be down. You also could have something like this. Doesn't have to touch the ankle. You could put your foot on the block. Some of you might push your foot into your shin and your shin into your foot. There's no magic here. What we're doing is finding a pose where we can play with balance. Find that spot to stare at. Lengthen up. Lift up and out of your waist. Take a breath in and a breath out and feel your belly tone. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe you keep your hands, one hand or both hands on a chair. You could be facing the chair like this. I'm just doing this so you can see me. Maybe you take your palms together. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tone your belly. Lift up and out of your waist. And then release your foot down. Let's circle our hips around and about, and we will find our way down to the earth. We're going to play with core, and we're going to play with balance. More core and balance today. All right, I'm going to move this chair. And it'll be time to go down to the mat. Find your way to the mat that is safe for you. You might put a blanket down for your knees, your delicate knees, or maybe you have something else. They make those like knee pads. You also could double up on your mats. That can be helpful too. Put this down and then find your way down. Find your way down. Take your time. Take your time to get there. In yoga, we say the journey is just as important as the pose. So we're going to start with our cat-cows. And I want you to really pay attention on the exhale, how the belly pulls in towards the spine. So placing our hands in front of our shoulders, knees about hip distance apart. And then let's just sway the hips. Sway the hips right and left. This is a teeny little hip opener. As you sway the hips one way and then the other. And come back to neutral. Shoulder blades on the back. So neutral isn't belly dumping down like that. So as you exhale, pull the belly in and feel the shoulder blades come on the back. That's neutral and table. So this isn't neutral, that's cat. This isn't neutral, this is cow. We pull the belly in, we feel our shoulder blades come onto our back. That is neutral. Now, to cat and cow, we round the spine, chin is to chest, belly pulls in and up. Now here is cow pose. Sitting bones up, neck long, back of the head is lengthening. Exhale, round, we're in cat. Belly's coming into the spine like a pancake. And then inhale, belly swoops down, shoulder blades move together, heart moves forward. Exhale, we round, belly pulls in and up. Inhale, belly swoops down, shoulder blades move together. Let's find neutral and then rock forward and back. And let's find a variation of child pose to get the weight off your hands. Come down maybe onto your forearms and rock your hips forward and back. And maybe you find stillness. Now, if your knees are bothering you, you might want a double cushion there. Or please come off. If it's too much weight on them, give them a break. Give them a break. And you can always do like a still child pose like this, where the hips go back and the arms go forward, or you bend your elbows because that's more comfortable. When we're trying to lengthen our spine. So this is really nice to lengthen the tailbone down towards your heels. So you're gently pressing your sitting bones down to your heels. And then inhale, we rise up. Let's extend the right leg back, push the heel away. Clawing the mat with our fingertips. Now you could be on your forearms if that's more comfortable for you. If for some reason it hurts on your palms or your wrists, we're rocking forward and back. Then we're going to find neutral. Now, when we're playing with balance, we're looking forward on the mat. So about a foot forward and then down. That's going to keep the back of our neck long. We don't want to drop the head down like that. We want the crown of the head reaching forward and our gaze is downward and forward. And the leg may lift and we tone our hip. Now this is already a balanced pose. You can always lower it down or you can keep it up for a moment and bend the heel towards your buttocks and then push it away and bring it in and push it away. And one more, bring it in and then maybe pulse the footprint up towards the sky. Then release that leg down. Sway your hips right and left. We'll do the other side. Let's take a break in between so you can take a break. Now you also can take your hands back like this in a child pose. Or maybe you're sitting up and you're circling your wrists around and about. Find a way to give a little bit of release to your hands. Now, to help our hands get stronger, when you're touching the mat, push your finger pads into the mat and make sure that this pointer finger knuckle is pushing down. If you've got your hands down on the mat. So fingers are spreading and this pointer finger knuckle is pushing down. Let's extend the other leg, rock forward and back. We're gazing forward. The crown of our head is reaching to the wall in front of us. And then eventually you might lift that leg up. Feel your hip and your leg tone. Take a breath in. Now notice if your belly is swooping down like that. Then we've got to take an inhale and exhale, pull the belly in and up. That's the core working in our balanced pose. We might bend the knee in and then extend it. And you can play with pointing and flexing as well. Belly's pulling in and up. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe find some stillness with the leg lifted, shoulder blades on the back, gaze forward, forward and downward, and release and let that go. Now let your hips sway right and left. You could also stand on your knees and circle the arms around if that's available to you. Get those wrists moving. Maybe do some like they're like flicks, like your hands have water and you're sprinkling something with the water. Flick the water away. Yeah, that's it. Flick it. Now we're going to go into our spinal balance. We've been working towards it. The peak of the spinal balance. Here we go. We're on our table, but we're in our table pose. We're going to extend the right leg and maybe bring the left fingertips forward and they're touching down on the earth. Another option is to bring a hand to a block in front of you and place your hand there. You might lift the leg, you might lift the arm. The gaze is forward and down. The crown of your head is reaching forward. Your belly is engaged. Take an inhale and on your exhale, pull that belly in and up. Now you can play with pointing and flexing your foot. We're lengthening through the leg and the arm. And release. Release. Let's do the other side. Then we'll get off our hands and our knees a bit. Extend the left leg back. When you're ready, lift it up. Take your right fingertips forward. Take your gaze forward. Keep your head in line with your spine. Maybe lift the arm up. Maybe keep your fingertips down. One way is not better than the other. Maybe toes are down. Maybe arm is up and toes are down. Create the version that's right for you. Spinal balance pose, core engaged. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's let that go. Let's come on to our sitting bones. I'm going to move the blanket out of the way. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to do a little variation on boat pose on the mat so you can feel that too. So give yourself a hug first. Give yourself a big hug. A big hug. Yes. Yes, really feel your hug. Maybe rock right and left. Feel your hug. Very, very nice. Take an inhale as you hug and feel the belly expand towards your thighs. And on the exhale, feel your belly pull in away from your thighs. Then we're going to take our hands. There's going to be variations, so you're going to choose the one that's right for you. Fingertips behind you. This is what we did in the chair, by the way, and you could do it again in the chair if you're not on the mat. Shoulders are up and back. Heart is lifted. Belly's pulling in. This is one variation right here. Another one is to lift the leg. Maybe the opposite arm lifts. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're on your tippy toes. This is hard right here. This is boat pose. Belly's pulling in and up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe the left leg lifts and the right arm. Breath is in. Breath is out. Lower the toes. Come back up. Come back up. Now, another variation is to take your hands behind your thighs, underneath there, and lift the shoulders up and back. Take an inhale. On the exhale, pull your belly in. Maybe lift a leg. So now we've got our hand pushing into our thighs. We're keeping our heart up. We're not rounding like that. We're lifting up. You could play with the other side, or you can play with both. Now, some people like to put a block in between their thighs for boat pose, like this. This is boat pose. Toes are down. This is boat pose. Toes are up. This is boat pose. Hands behind thighs. This is boat pose. Hands behind buttocks. Either way, we're hugging the block, if the block is in between there, and release down. Now, some people put the strap around their thighs for boat pose. I'm not going to show that today because I think you're probably ready to move on from boat pose. let's go on to our, we're gonna go on to our back and do some bridge poses with leg lifts. And then we'll do a little bit more balancing on our sides. So first, let's come to our back, knees are up, feet are down on the earth. And you might let your head sway to the right, real slow. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, sway nose and head to the left. And inhale, we rise back up. Let's do a few pelvic tilts. And I want you to see how the belly pulls in on the exhale. So when the hips move upwards, the belly expands. When the top of the hips moves down, the belly pulls in. That's the core. So inhale, belly is expanding, and you could stick your hand underneath your spine. Exhale, belly pulls down, top of the pelvis pulls down. You can't get anything underneath your back. Do that a few times. Roll forward and back as you breathe in and you breathe out. And this should be really nice on your lower back. And let's find neutral. So that's somewhere between forward and back of the pelvis. And then you feel a little tone in your belly. Your arms are down by your side, and then bend your elbows for robot. Press the sides of your arm bones down and inhale, lift your hips. Not all the way. We're not looking to thrust the hips up. Push down through your feet. And this could be balance right here for you. You might feel like your knees are swaying right and left. Find a spot to stare at. Probably on the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. You're going to feel your thighs maybe stretching, your buttocks toning. And let's lower that down. Let that go. Next time, we might add in a little bit more of a balance here by lifting the heel up. Let's see how that goes. So we're going to inhale up and do our bridge. We're going to push down through the left foot and maybe lift the heel up on the right side. And exhale, lower that heel down, and inhale, lift the left heel up. And then alternate a few times. Inhaling one heel lifts, and then the other. Breathe in. And breathe out. How about both heels up? That's fun. You really feel some good toning now. And then exhale, lower the heels, lower the buttocks, and bring your knees in. Give yourself a hug and roll in circles on your back. Roll in nice circles. Give your lower back a massage. And then reverse the circle. And let's come back. Place the feet down. We're going to roll to our side. So rolling onto your side. Now, there's going to be different variations that I will show. A nice way to go down is to make a little pillow with your arm. You could also have a little blanket here for your head. That might be nice. Find what's comfortable for you. We don't want the head lifted up too high though. We really want to keep the ears in line with the shoulders. So resting down. Now this could be a balance pose right here with our knees. If you bend your knees, that makes balance a little bit easier. And so this is one side position. We're going to start here, and then we're going to pull our belly in and try to lift our bottom ribs off of the earth and then lower down. That's core work. Your upper hand can be down on the earth or maybe on a block in front of you. Take an inhale. On your exhale, lift your ribs off of the mat. So you could place your hand underneath there and then let it go. We're going to do that a few times. Inhale, exhale, pull belly in, lift ribs off of the mat and let it go. Inhale. Exhale, belly pulls in, ribs pull in and up. Release that, let that go. Let that go. Now, if it's available to you, you might come onto your elbow, but only if it's okay with your shoulder. And then from here, you might lift your ribs up and lower down. So it's the same thing. So either continue what you were doing or come up onto your forearm. One way isn't right and wrong. Make sure your shoulders externally rotating as you lift your ribs up. The ribs lift up and maybe the arm lifts up, or you keep the hand down or at your hip. So we're lifting the ribs and then we're lowering down. The exhale is where you're lifting the ribs. We take an inhale as we lower and an exhale, we pull in and up and release and pull in and up and release. And one more time. And let's find the pose on the other side. So you could just roll over to the other side. I'm going to switch sides so you can see me. Start with making your pillow and feel the side of your body. Bend your knees and take an inhale. And on your exhale, pull your belly in towards your spine and take an inhale. On your next exhale, pull the ribs up so they're not touching the mat anymore. And then inhale, lower it down. Exhale, pull in, belly in, ribs up, lower it down. It's all coming from down here in the abdomen area, not the shoulders, and lower. One more, pull it in and up, breathe in, breathe out, release it down. Stay there for a few more repetitions or come up onto your forearm. And that's where a block might be helpful for your upper hand like this. Then you want to make sure this shoulder is externally rotating. So we don't want it falling in like that. That's going to hurt the shoulder. Make sure the shoulder stays back. Then we might lift our ribs up a little bit, lower down. Inhaling, exhaling, lifting ribs and lower down. Your hips may lift, by the way, but we're not showing that for today mostly, but you could lift the ribs, the hips up too. Pull the belly in and up, ribs lift, lower down, let that go, let that go. Let's go on to our backs once again. Bring your strap with you. We must stretch our legs. So let's do the back of our legs. First, our hamstrings. You might have a little blanket under your head if your head tilts back, but we want the forehead and the chin to be parallel with the earth. So we're not tipping the head back like that. The head is level. Then place your strap around your foot. And maybe cross the strap. You're going to press your heel upwards. Leg may or may not straighten all the way. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. In breath and out breath. Pressing footprint towards the sky. Spread your toes. Feel the lengthening through the back of your leg. Now notice if your ribs are lifting and push them down. That's one way to play with core here even. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel this nice stretch. Let's turn the toes out and the heel in. And then feel the stretch. It's going to change the position of the stretch. Breathe in. And out. Maybe this leg is extended, the bottom leg. Maybe not. Come back to neutral. The only way the leg would be as extended is if you need more of a stretch. If you don't, and you're getting enough, keep that knee bent. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's remove the strap. Bend your knee and place your ankle over your thigh. And then notice if you feel a stretch as you press your hand into your thigh. If not, go ahead and bring the knees towards you until you start to feel a stretch. Until you start to feel a stretch. Breathe in and breathe out. And in and out. In breath and out breath. Feel the stretch in your hip, maybe inner thigh. And then lower both legs down. Maybe tilt your pelvis forward and back. Let's do the other side. Put the strap around your other foot. I didn't say right or left last time, so whichever one you didn't do. And find your way to your stretch. Your pelvis is tilted neutral. Your opposite knee is pointing up, your knee is bent. You're pushing the footprint skyward, leg may or may not straighten. You may or may not look at your foot. You might close your eyes and really feel the stretch behind your thigh, behind your thigh. If you need a little bit more intensity, you extend the bottom leg. Most of you will not need that. Take several more breaths in this position. Notice the longer you stay there, the stretch starts to change. Then we're going to turn the heel in and the toes out, and the kneecap is matching up with those toes. And feel the stretch here. Try to relax your shoulders so that you're not gripping so hard on the strap that your shoulders tense up. We're not working the shoulders right now. We are stretching the back of our leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out. A few more breaths in and out with the leg externally rotated. And then turn the toes forward. Feel the stretch once again. And then you're going to remove the strap. Place your ankle on your thigh for your hip stretch. Breathing in and out. And if you need more, pull your knees in. You can wrap your arms around and in between your legs as you pull the knees in towards you. Keeping this foot flexed, that helps your knee. Maybe you close your eyes so you can really feel the sensation. Take your mind to the sensation and your breath. This is what makes this yoga practice a mind-body practice. We're connecting our breath with our body and our movements. Feeling the sensation, more awareness of our body. And we'll lower our legs down and find our last spinal twist. So we're going to bring our knees in, let them fall one direction. Your arms can be in a nice cactus pose. Your head is lining up with your spine. And then if it feels accessible to you, you might turn your head the opposite direction of your knees. Take about 5 breaths in your twist. Now your opposite hand might hold the upper knee, which is nice too. When you're ready, you bring the knees up, give yourself a little hug, maybe roll around on your back, and then find your knees to your chest and let them fall towards the opposite way. I like to press my shoulders downward and then maybe gently turn your head the opposite direction as your knees. Maybe you close your eyes. It's always maybes. Feel the sensation of the twist as you breathe. And then eventually, you're going to find your way to your resting pose. That might be your feet up on a chair. I'll show that one just for today. You might do your relaxation on your back with a bolster under your knees. You might put your feet up the wall. Find a pose where you can relax. We moved a lot. We engaged core, we practiced balance, we did some stretching. We opened up the body, we strengthened the body. We did a nice full practice. So find your restorative pose. You might have your hands on your belly, or one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Feel the wave of the breath, but let the breath become relaxed so it's effortless as you relax. Allowing the whole body to let go. Let go and just be as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out. Breathe in and out at your pace, at your length and duration, allowing the legs to relax, the feet to relax. They might flap open. We're releasing control. We're just being as we are. Relaxing the belly, the arms, the head, the face, the facial muscles, whole body relaxing. You can stay in this pose for several minutes if it's comfortable for you. For some people, Shavasana, resting pose, is the hardest pose of the practice, to be still. And so if that is for you, just notice it and observe it. And just acknowledge it, that it's challenging. Or maybe acknowledge that it feels really good. Being with whatever is. So stay as long as you want in your resting pose. I'm going to slowly roll to the side to come up and end our time together. But I encourage you every day to find your resting pose. Take a little pause in your day. Check in with your body. It's a check-in, or it's an inner checkup. A self-checkup, not the kind where we go to the doctor, but the one where you feel what's going on inside your body. And I'll bring our palms together, but this time let's do that Garuda Mudra we did the other day, where you cross a wrist over, place it over your heart, feel your breath. Let's send prayers for peace out into the world. As we breathe in and out, send prayers for peace to yourself, to those you love, and beyond, to the whole world. To every living being in the universe, we send out prayers for peace. Namaste, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.